Welcome back. We are going to do a follow-up video that I talked about last time. We're going to recover these seats. These are the original vinyl seats I had in my 2004 BMW Z4. Passenger seat is in really great shape, but as you can see here, the driver's side's got some cracking and some blemishes there, a little bit in here. I mean, for a 21, 22-year-old car, that is to be expected. However, when I made some calls to see, because there's videos on YouTube that show guys, that they can fix all this stuff, and I knew that I probably wanted to do something about these seats and fix them when I first got the car. But anyways, I called around, and nobody seemed to be interested in fixing vinyl seats around here, at least. And I called around some upholstery shops, and of course it was fairly expensive. So I did a little jazz hand routine on the Google and found that you can buy seat covers for cars, and those are the types that you can put on top of those. But most of those seem to be polyurethane, and I was hoping maybe to get something in leather. But anyways, in my communications with multiple companies, I couldn't seem to find anything that really suited my fancy. And let's face it, most of them didn't really have any pictures of it installed in this car. But there is a company out there that I read online that seemed to have pretty good reviews. That is Lseat.com. The prices are pretty reasonable. And so what I did is I sent off to get a sample kit of the colors that they offer, and this is what they sent me. You just pay for postage. It's pretty cheap. So this is their little brochure. They had a few extra colors here on the back, and I took that off. But here are the colors. Now, unfortunately, here on this screen, you can't really tell how good they look in person. The nice thing about these guys is that on their website, you can configure their seats with whatever color you want, maybe a different color insert if you like, different stitching colors, and you can also get perforated leather sort of here in this section, or you can go with a diamond pattern. And they have hundreds and hundreds of different patterns for different cars. And of course, with here in the Z4, it's certainly a seat type that they make. So let me show you what I just got in the post. I just opened the box, and here are the seat covers. Now, my initial inspection of these, and man, these are really well built. Now, I'm not an expert in fabrics or anything like that, but I don't know if it's real leather or not, but it certainly doesn't feel like vinyl. I mean, there's a scrim here on the back, and they've got places here for the for the hog rings to go through. Anyways, I'm very happy, and as you can see, I decided to go with red. So red fabric, red stitching, and I was debating to go with perforated or diamond pattern, but I thought I'd take a chance and go with the diamond pattern. So that's what I did. So here in the kit, you get 2 seat backs, 2 seat cushions, and the headrests. All in, this was $389 US plus a little bit of shipping. I'm not under any expectations to this be like Porsche quality leather or anything like that, but for the money, man, you can't beat this. So I'm going to let this rest. I'm going to put it in the sun because these were vacuum sealed, so they're a little bit wrinkly right now. So I'm going to let them sit in the sun for a bit, give it a couple of days to get these wrinkles mostly out before I attempt to put it on the seats. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the seats out of the car, and we're going to start putting some new Lseat leather seat covers on. So I've decided before I go crazy and pull out the seats of the car, I'd try to do one of the headrests. So I've got the headrest here. I have the fabric. We're just going to use a plastic trim tool. And, just kind of based on the construction of this, you can see here that there's a hook system here, and then this is supposed to just fold over on each other. So let's see if we can pull this apart. This is my first time ever doing this, so you guys are seeing this live. And you know how it always is when you're doing something like this. First one always takes longer, the second one goes a lot faster. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it just came out. Okay, let's see. Got that. Okay. And then you pull this out. And then, well, this ought to be fun. And try to get the foam out of here without ruining anything. Okay, well, that wasn't so bad. There you go. Wow, the foam's in really good shape too. All right, well, there you go. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell. Look at that. That's vinyl. And let's see if we can get this onto this. Now, I did see a trick with upholsterers that they use to get this to fit on there, and that involves plastic bag. So what I've seen them do is put a plastic bag over top the seat cover, or in this case the headrest, is to use a vacuum. And we'll use a vacuum hose to suck the air out and squish this down. Maybe I can get it on. Let's see. All right, plug your ears. Oh yeah, it's going on. Okay, I think that's good. That worked. All right, so that's the trick. Put it on the post. Yeah, that's probably pretty good, but... seems to be holding. Okay, well, there you go. There's a headrest done. A little bit of heat on that to shrink the leather a bit, and I think we'll be in good shape. What do you think? Looks pretty factory to me. Fits really nice. And it's sitting in there just perfectly, so yeah. I like that. I think it looks pretty good. Oh, by the way, I should mention one of the options you can get is you can get this embroidered with a logo if you'd like. Extra cost, of course. Or I think stamped with something else. But anyways, you gotta let them know. I just wanted it to look like this. But so far, I'm very happy. That turned out really good. Wow, that one was a bit of a struggle, and I kind of blew out this stitch in here. But thankfully, I still have some red thread left over from when I covered my steering wheel. So I'll fix that off camera, and then we'll be good. Driver's seat is out, and you can see here that this part here is broken over age. That's just plastic that's holding that on. And the rest of the seat covers just clip in sort of all the way around, so it should be fairly easy to take apart. Some people have suggested and said that the seat heaters is a material here and it's sewn into the old fabric. So I'm going to try and cut it out and see if I can retain it. If not, I can just buy some third-party ones and put it in and wire it in, but I'd like to be able to retain this. Good news, I was able to pull the heated pad out of the other seat, and I've just plugged it into the wiring harness of the car, and you need to have the seat back plugged in as well because it does a resistance check. Green lights are on. Yeah, it's heating up for sure. Neat. All right, well, I'll be able to reuse it. It's a bit laborious because you got to cut all the stitches and you're going to ruin your, the old seat covers in the process. But hey, you know what? I just saved myself some money. All right, I think that's a success. So I took the seat heating pad out and it fits quite nicely in there. I just slid it open. There's some pass-through, not wires, but there's some tabs here that go from this part of the element here and here. So I just slid it open in here and it fits right over top of where the arms go in. Now the way this works is you'll need a tool like this, by the way. These are Hog Ring Pliers. This is the DeWalt brand. The only reason I got this one here is because you put the hog rings in here. They're really sharp and it auto dispenses. Other ones you'd have to manually put it in. This is just more like a stapler and put it in. You can buy these on Amazon, and again, I'll put links in the video description if you guys are interested in this stuff. And you tuck that in there, and there's a wire built into the foam. You probably can't see it here, but in the bottom there's a little wire. And you take your hog ring pliers, and hopefully I can do this. I've never done this, so I'm gonna try this first. By the way, let me just show you how this works, right? So you just, you click it. Oh, well, I'll do it again. And you end up with a little hog ring. Maybe got to do it sideways? I really don't know. Oh, well, that's no good. Wire came out. There we go. Let's put that over there so we don't puncture anything. Nope. What am I doing wrong? Well, I figured out the technique. Took me a few tries, but basically you just got to get this part right here into the jaws, into that little hook in here. Get that in there first. Push down. Get the other one underneath the wire, and then squeeze. And then twist it out. There, that worked. Okay, cool. Not too bad. Just needs a cleaning and some heat shrinking. I learned a lot. Next one will be a lot faster. I finally managed to get the cover off on the driver's side. As you can see here, I mean, some of the foam has deteriorated a little bit. It's punched through. I think I can glue this back on, maybe recover it with a very thin piece of memory foam, and should be good as new. Yeah, this is the most stressful part of covering this seat, because there's a plastic bracket that goes right here that holds the seat belt, and I think I've got it marked in the right spot. You can see it just kind of poking right there, and then there's a screw, but I'm going to do that one later. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks pretty good there too. This is going to be fun. Well, as you can see, finished product. Man, that took me all day to do. I suspect the next one will be a lot faster now that I know how this thing goes together. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I mean, there's a few wrinkles and stuff, but you know, it's brand new leather. That will shrink out in due time. I will take my heat gun to it and a damp cloth and sort of accelerate that process a little bit, but otherwise if you sit in the sun, it should shrink a little bit. So yeah, very happy with the quality. This is real leather, folks. Now, I'm not under any illusions that this Porsche quality or anything like that, but for the money, you can't really beat it. I am not going to film doing the other seat because, well, it's exactly the same process as this, but I will show you the finished result and put it back in the car.